everyone. My name is Linda. Thanks so much for coming to the channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. And if this is the first time, I'm so glad you stopped by. So we're here today to watch Supernatural Season 1, Episode 4, The Phantom Traveler. It's a really enjoyable episode. I like it a lot. We learned some things about Dean in the episode that lead to some pretty funny moments, which I enjoy. And it's the first time the boys are tangling with a demon, so that's interesting, just in terms of the lore of the show. But without further ado, let's get into Season 1, Episode 4 of Supernatural. For some reason, my eye keeps watering. Having a day. It's also freezing in my house at the moment, so hence my bundled up appearance. So I apologize. I'm kind of a hot mess this morning, but whatever. So creepy. I do enjoy that for the most part. I mean, obviously it's a little different looking than the demon smoke sort of becomes, but for the most part it's essentially the same special effect, for the demon smoke as time goes on. It doesn't change that much. So that's cool.
Have a nice flight, sir.
Oh, I'm counting on it.
So creepy. And the black eyes have stayed the same, obviously. With the exception of crossroad demons and yellow-eyed demons and what are the white-eyed demons like Lilith and Alistair. But for the most part, the creepy black eyes and demons has stuck around.
What the hell are you doing?
Yikes. Wow. This is a beautiful shot. It's beautifully composed. I watched Supernatural for the plot. Just saying.
What time is it? It's about 5:45. In the morning? Yeah. Where does the day go?
Me, literally every day. Even when I say it's like 9 in the morning. Morning!
You're concerned. Oh, I'm not concerned about you. It's your
Of
job
course
to
not.
keep my ass alive, so I need you sharp.
Dean's never concerned about Sam.
Seriously, you still having nightmares about Jess?
Never.
Man, that kid's to you.
Well, you can't let it. You can't bring it home like that.
So what, all this, it never keeps you up at night?
No,
Never.
definitely.
You're never afraid?
No, not really.
I mean, I don't know how afraid he is, although I'm sure he is. I guarantee it keeps him up at night. Even back then.
That's not fear. That is precaution.
Alright, whatever. I'm too tired to argue.
Although, again, as we all know, pre-Hell Dean is a very different creature than post-Hell Dean, which never fails to break my heart.
Oh, right, yeah, up in Katanning, Pennsylvania, the poltergeist thing. It's not back, is it?
No. Thank God, no.
It was cool to see, in this episode, a former client, for lack of a better word, come back to them for help. I liked it sort of helped to establish a backstory for for Dean and John, obviously, but for all of them that
Hey, nobody's talking to you. Keep walking.
Damn
right, it was
it built a backstory for them that obviously they've been doing this for a while. They've obviously saved and helped a lot of people, and it was cool to see someone come back to them for help. I just like the layers it put into the story.
Well, he was real proud of you, I could tell. He talked about you all the time.
He did?
Yeah, you bet he did. Oh, hey, I tried to get a hold of him, but I couldn't. How's he doing anyway?
Pretty, pretty boys with beautiful lighting in this show. I will not stop saying it over and over again. The lighting in this show is incredible. The early seasons are obviously dark, but even just, the way the boys are lit and the way all the scenes are lit it's so beautiful. It creates such gorgeous atmosphere, and then, of course, gorgeous boys. But it's really done really well.
Hey.
Hi.
I'm going to pause it here just for a second to try to address something. So, just because this is a really tiny moment here, but it comes up many times throughout the series, and people have strong opinions about the fact that, Dean just opened the door, held it open for a young woman to walk through, clearly checked her out and smiled and said, hey, and continued on. It's a bone of contention for a lot of fans, that Dean tends to hit on a lot of women, that he seems to sleep with a lot of women, that he, it kind of checks women out regularly. And it bothers people. And I just want to say here that I accept that. I accept that people feel how they feel about things like that, and there's nothing, your feelings are valid. But for me, I have zero problem with the way Dean is with women. I know a lot of people, there's people that will swear up and down that he's a misogynist, which I have to say does bother me, because in no way, shape, or form do I ever see that in Dean, in the character of Dean, that he's misogynistic in any way. In the early seasons especially, he has some sort of old-fashioned ideas about, masculinity and femininity, things like that. It comes from the era he grew up in. I grew up in the same era, the same age. I'm the same age as Jensen and a little bit older than Dean, I guess. But so a lot of that just comes from being part of that generation. Those things do improve vastly as the show goes on. But at no point is Dean hateful towards women. He never ridicules them. He's never disrespectful to them in a way, like he doesn't he's not cruel to them, he's not mean to them, he's not rude to them, he doesn't hurt them. A lot of people call him out for misogyny and the fact that he sleeps with women and then leaves. Well, do you see the women that he's sleeping with complaining about any of this? Like, a lot of people have it in their head that just because he sleeps with women and then moves on, that he's being disrespectful to women. But hey, women like casual sex too. Just putting it out there. Especially casual sex with someone who looks like Dean Winchester. Just saying. So I don't know. I have never in any way, shape, or form believed that Dean is a misogynist. And again, like I said, I know that some people feel very differently and have a problem with him in that way. And I accept that. Obviously, I mean, you interpret things how you interpret things, and you believe what you're going to believe. But just so that everybody's clear from the outset, for me, if it wasn't clear already by the fact that I'm madly in love with Dean Winchester, I in no way think he's misogynistic. I don't think he's disrespectful to women. In this case, he looked at this cute girl walking through, checked her out, smiled, and continued on. Yeah, I do that like 90 times a day to dudes. Like, I mean, not creepily, not weirdly, but like if there's a good-looking guy walking by, or a good-looking girl as far as that goes, I will, I'm looking and then smiling and moving on. He's not doing anything wrong. He's just looking. And like, when you think about, again, even just in context of the show, so I mean, that's, I don't think there's anything wrong with checking people out. It only becomes creepy and wrong if you're checking people out or hitting on people and they say, no thank you, and clearly want you to leave and you don't drop it. To me, that's when there's a problem. But to just check someone out, there's nothing inherently wrong in that. But yeah, and so, but then in context of the show, when you think about literally what these guys' lives are, I cut them crazy amounts of slack because what they go through, how their lives are, it makes it very hard for them to have normal relationships. It makes it very hard. They give a lot into the life, and so to like nitpick at every little, flirtation and every time Dean checks somebody out, I just think it's not fair to the characters. It's not fair to the boys. So anyway, that's my tirade about Dean and his flirtations and the way he treats women. I really just wanted to make sure that everyone sort of knew that going forward. That's my interpretation and my feelings about the character, and you're certainly welcome to obviously think and believe differently, but that's me. Okay, rant over. Let's continue on the episode.
Dan, I already spoke with Homeland Security.
Right. Some new information
Well,
has come up.
Like,
so
Homeland
just answer a
Security
couple
lets their
questions.
agents dress
Just
in
before the
like
plane went
jeans
down.
and leather jackets and cool. They're undercover.
I think maybe you did see something up there.
We need to know what.
No, I was delusional. Seeing things.
Who's seeing things?
Can't really blame him. I wouldn't want to talk about it or think about it.
There was this man, and he had these eyes, these black eyes, and I saw him, or I thought I saw him. He opened the emergency exit. But that's impossible, right? I mean, I looked it up. There's something like 2 tons of pressure on that door.
Man, I don't care how strong you are. Even yoked up on PCP or something, no way you can open up an emergency door during a flight.
Not if you're human. Some kind of creature, maybe, in human form?
Does that look like a creature's lair to you?
As we discover, of course, as time goes on, you never can tell about a creature's lair. Makes me think of Garth and Beth. And their like beautiful suburban home with their like 3 children. Creature's lair.
You know what we need to do is get inside that NTSB warehouse, check out the wreckage.
Okay. But if we're gonna go that route, we better look the part.
Their first suits.
Man,
First
I
bed
remember one of
suits.
the Blues Brothers.
You don't.
You look more like a 7th grader at his first dance.
Absolutely, in no world does he look like a 7th grader at a dance. I was in 7th grade. There were no 7th graders that looked like him. There were no 7th graders that looked like Jensen when Jensen was that age. 7th graders didn't look like him. They just didn't.
What is that?
It's an EMF meter. Reads electromagnetic frequencies.
Yeah, I know what an EMF meter is, but why does that one look like a busted up Walkman?
So that's what I made it out of. It's homemade.
You be proud, baby.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
I can see that.
Sam's such a little brother. It's very impressive that he made a homemade EMF detector out of a Walkman. Very impressive. Comes in handy later that it looks like a Walkman when he has to have it on the plane. Gross.
What is this stuff?
I love that, of course. And Dean is such a big brother. I love that, of course, Sam has like little baggies and things to collect evidence. Dean's scratching it out with his finger now.
What? One team of you guys isn't enough?
What are you talking about?
2 of your buddies went inside, not 5
That poor
minutes.
guard, he's so fired. Run! Run, boys, run! We belong here. Oops, nope. Okay, run. Run, run, run.
Oh, these monkey suits do come in handy.
I'm ready. Let's do this.
I know a lot of people wonder too, because like, obviously there's some differences in the lore that they're talking about here in this episode. Like they say, like, you know, the person being possessed has to have some kind of emotional, like issues or fears or trauma or whatever for the demon to work their way through. And of course, we realize that as time goes on.
Time really does fly.
Terrible joke. As time goes on, that demons don't need anything of the kind. They can just possess whoever they want. But also, we do learn in the last episode of season 1 when they're talking with Bobby for the first time when we meet Bobby, and the boys say, you know, they're talking to him about demons, and Bobby says something like, you know, most years I hear of 3 or maybe 4 possessions at the most. And this year there's like 24 or something like that, I think he says. So at this point in the show, demons are pretty rare, I think, right? Like if Bobby, who deals in the life constantly, only hears of or about like 3 or 4 possessions a year,
behind
obviously
certain
demons
disasters,
are
both
pretty
natural and
rare
man-made. One
at this
causes
point. They're
earthquakes,
not,
another
they
causes
don't have,
disease.
because eventually they
Plane
become,
crashes.
they're everywhere, right? I mean, they open the Hell's Gate at the end of season 2, and even more demons come out. But yeah, so there's obviously some differences in lore, but I chalk it up to that. I mean, again, obviously I realize that probably they just were still trying to solidify the lore, but but it makes a certain amount of sense
I
that
don't know, man. This isn't our
demons
normal
were just
gig.
not very well
I
known.
mean, demons, they don't want anything, just
as
death
Dean
and
is saying
destruction
here,
for its own sake.
it's not
This
their
is big.
usual gig, right? Like they don't deal with
I
a lot
wish
of
Dad was
demons.
here.
But so it's interesting to see the progression of that lore within the show.
Another crash.
Yeah. Let's go.
Where?
Nazareth.
Just for those who don't know, Nazareth is, I believe it was the town in the Bible that Jesus grew up in. I think it's where he grew up. So it's a biblically named town. That's why there's the irony involved with the demons.
40 minutes. What does that mean?
It's biblical numerology. You know, Noah's Ark, it rained for 40 days. The number means death.
I went back, and there
Fabulous.
have been 6.
This is Amanda Walker.
Miss Walker. Hi, this is Dr. James Hetfield from St. Francis Memorial Hospital.
James
We have a Karen Walker. Well, there must be some mistake.
And how would you even know I was here?
Another example of Dean just rolling with the punches
Is this one of Vince's friends?
and just adapting. Yep, sure.
Guilty
Yep.
as charged.
Yep, Vince's friend.
Wow, this is...
He's really sorry.
Will you tell him to mind his own
He's
business
really
and stay
sorry.
out of my life, okay?
Yes, but he really needs to see you tonight. So... No, wait, Amanda.
So close.
That plane is gonna crash. I
Yeah.
know.
Say that part really
We'll
quiet
get
in
the
an
plane, we
airport.
can find that demon and exercise it. Look, I'll get the tickets. You just go get whatever you can out of the trunk. Whatever will make it through security. Meet me back here in 5 minutes. Are you okay?
No, not really.
What? What's wrong?
Well, I kind of have this problem with,
Flying?
it's never really been an issue until now.
His little
joking, right?
face.
Do I look like I'm joking?
Yeah.
Why do you think I drive everywhere,
So
Sam?
stressed.
All right. I'll go.
What?
I'll do this one on my own.
Are you nuts? You said it yourself, the plane's gonna crash.
Shh, quieter.
In here.
Come on. Really?
Very early indications of just how great Jensen was at comedy. It's fantastic.
Just try to relax.
Just try to shut up.
The noises are scary. I don't like the noises on airplanes either. It doesn't really scare me to fly. I've only flown a few times in my life, but I don't. That's a whole that like feeling of taking off. Where that's pretty much how it feels. Where your stomach is like still on the floor as the plane lifts off. It's not a great feeling, and the noises are a lot.
You humming Metallica?
Calms me down.
Who is it possessing?
Well, it's usually going to be somebody with some sort of weakness, you know, a chink in the armor that the demon can worm through. Somebody with an addiction or some sort of emotional distress.
I love. So you.
Oh, nice.
Hey,
What?
say it in Latin.
I know.
Hey.
What?
In Latin, it's Christo.
Dude, I know, I'm not an idiot. Christo.
I'm sorry, did you say something?
No, nothing. Christo?
Christo?
She's like,
I didn't...
what?
Yeah, nothing, never mind.
Cute guy's crazy. Cool.
Come on, that can't be normal.
Hey, it's just a little turbulence.
Sam, this plane is going to crash, okay? So quit treating me like I'm freaking Thor.
You need to calm down.
Well, I'm sorry, I can't.
Yes.
Dude, stone the touchy-feely self-help yoga crap. It's not
Listen,
help.
you're panicked, you're wide open to demonic possession, so you need to calm yourself down right now.
Good job. Good job.
Good.
Poor baby.
What do we have to do?
Also, the fact that they use this
First part
weird
expels the demon from the
exorcism
victim's body. It makes it
that's like
manifest,
2 parts.
which actually makes it more powerful.
Okay, sure.
More powerful?
Yeah.
How?
They clearly did not know a lot about demons at this point. They learn.
Well, because the second part sends the bastard back to hell once and for all.
They get their good
First
exorcisms
things
from
first,
Bobby,
we gotta
maybe.
find it.
Because it's after they meet Bobby that they use a different exorcism on Meg. And then better ones as time goes on. Ones that don't have to be done in 2 parts.
What? What is it?
Cristo.
Yikes. I remember the first time watching that was just genuinely creepy and like gave me kind of shivers, like, ooh, it turned around, it's in the pilot, how do you get rid of that?
Yeah, what's the problem?
And you're down.
What are you doing? You said you were just going to talk to him.
Also, like, there's no, she doesn't know that that's holy water. It looks kind of like they're dropping acid on him, like spilling acid onto him. Although it doesn't seem to be, like they're sprinkling it all over and getting it all over them too, and it doesn't seem to be bothering them, I guess, so.
Damn, I don't know how much longer I can hold it.
Regnatera, cantate Deo, so days.
I know what happened to your girlfriend. She must have died screaming. Even now she's burned.
Yikes. Poor Sam. Try and continue on after that. Oops. Poor people. Oh, I mean, poor everyone on the flight, obviously, but like his literal worst, absolute worst fear and nightmare coming true. Oh, he needs lots of hugs after. Or a baby. The people around him are like, are you praying? I mean, sure. Good job, Sam. He looks a little windswept. God. You like the trauma of like going the second plane in like 3 months that's almost like that's had that happen, everything shaking and rattling, and to think of going through it again so soon after. The poor thing. I sincerely hope she finds a different line of work.
Anything else?
No, that's
Look, it's the actual FBI. No problem.
Dean, it knew about Jessica.
Sam, these things, they read minds. They lie. All right, that's all it was.
I mean, it could have just been that, right? It is possible that it just sort of read his fears or something and played on it, but I have a feeling the yellow-eyed demon's antics probably spread around hell pretty quickly. People knew what he was up to.
Hey, you know, Jerry.
Yeah.
I meant to ask you, how did you get my cell phone number anyway? I've only had it for like 6 months.
Your dad gave it to me.
What? Well, when did you talk to him?
Called his number, his voice message said to give you a call. Thanks again, guys.
This doesn't make any sense, man. I've called Dad's number like 50 times. It's been out of service.
He fixed it,
John Winchester.
and is now just telling people to find Dean.
Call 784. 555-0179. He can help.
Oh, John. I get why he's doing what he's doing here, but the poor boys. All they want is our answers, and he won't give them to them, because he's John Winchester. Okay, so that was season 1, episode 4, Phantom Traveler. Great episode. You know, it like I said throughout, it's really interesting to see sort of the early lore about demons and what the boys did and didn't know about demons, and then also how that lore sort of changed as obviously as the show progressed, but then also just, you know, like I was saying, I feel like kind of just the boys' knowledge of demons and the lore surrounding them and the sort of truth around them grew as the seasons went on, especially this season, you know, obviously dealing with the yellow-eyed demon towards the end of the season, and I think that meeting Bobby changed a lot of that as well. I mean, obviously, and they knew Bobby at this point, obviously, but meeting up with Bobby again, I guess, sort of expanded their knowledge of demons and demonology, which is wonderful, along with all the other amazing things that Bobby brings to the boys and to the show. But yeah, so this was a great episode, and I appreciate that you allowed me the little break in the middle there to talk about Dean's character and some of the issues that people have with Dean's character, and I hope it didn't sound like too much of a tirade or too much of a, you know, a lecture. Like I said at the time, you know, everybody is entitled to feel how they feel about the show, about characters, about storylines. But I'm just gonna, one of the reasons that I was wanting to do the rewatch of the show is just to discuss some of like my thoughts and ideas and feelings and interpretations about the show and about the characters. So I will be sort of giving my opinion freely about those things, and you are of course welcome to agree or disagree or disregard everything I'm saying completely. But yeah, so those are that's just the way I feel about that particular subject, and so I appreciate you listening and giving me the time to air my thoughts. And please do the same in the comments below. I want to keep my comment sections, of course, friendly and kind, and you know, no hate, no disrespect or rudeness to people who have different opinions than you do. Of course, please keep everything civil and friendly. We are a family. We like to act like one, which actually probably means that we should be fighting and screaming at each other a lot if we're a family. Just kidding. No dysfunction. Who am I kidding? We're a dysfunctional family, but let's try to keep it friendly anyway. But yeah, so I appreciate your taking the time to listen to my thoughts, and like I said, please do share yours below in the comments, and yeah, I'm excited to read them and to hear about them and to hear what you think, and yeah, I guess that's it for today, and I will see you for season 1 episode 5 next week, which is Bloody Mary, which I watched for the first time by myself in the dark and never should have done because it scared the bejesus out of me. But anyway, that's coming up next week. Thanks so much, guys. Take care. Bye.